292, session number 292 of the Morning Journal. Thank you for being here, each and every one of you. Thank you for watching and tuning in and joining into the conversation today. We're starting with something, a very simple, deceptively simple question. I'm happy with blank. Let us know, what is something that you're happy with? Satisfaction sometimes is rare. It's like a lot of us are kind of beset with varying levels of dissatisfaction. So it's worth taking the time to think about something that we're actually happy with. What is something that you're actually happy with? The request box is open and the opportunity is there for you to share if you would like. Or as always, you are free to just kind of reflect on the question yourself. You know, maybe it's something that you want to sit with for a while, which is perfectly fine. Okay. I am happy with, Corey says, I'm happy with my diet plan. Happy with my diet plan. Well, congratulations on that, Corey. Sometimes it's hard to get your eating dialed in. So if you have something that's working for you that you're happy with, congratulations. Congratulations. Just pay attention to, keep paying attention to your body, paying attention to how you're feeling. Quibbly says, I'm happy with how I'm living my life. I'm happy with how I'm living my life. So I'm wondering, are there some things that have changed for you recently? Is there something that you are doing differently now? Is there a new habit or a new way of living that is true for you now that didn't used to be true? Said, no, I've been doing it like this. I hear you. So Noble Ancient says, I am happy with being married to Alexis and having Armistice games. Both bring me happiness in their own ways. So each bringing you happiness, each in their own way. It's good to have sort of a portfolio of things. It may not be the healthiest to rely upon just one thing to bring you happiness. So Gobbler is watching over on Twitch, says, I'm sad. Well, sadness is a valid response to certain things that might be going on in your life. But maybe there's something you can think about, even if it's the outfit that you wore yesterday. So Sunshine says that I'm happy I got hired. Well, that's good news. A couple people in here got some jobs, got some new means of financial support for themselves. That's awesome. Congratulations. For sure. Corey stated two different things. One, I'm Asian and I'm lactose intolerant. Okay. Okay. So let's see what we have here. Lazy Sloth says, I'm happy with traveling. Where you going, Lazy Sloth? You're not just going to be sitting there chilling? You're going to go somewhere, do something? How's about that? Let us know. Hello, DJ Pico. Thank you for joining us. JD is here as well. So let's see. We're talking about what we are happy with. So if you just got here, take a second. Scan your experience in your life and all the different things, the contents of your life. Let us know, what are you happy with? What are you happy with? Brian says that I'm happy with the way my life has turned out. I know every day could be good or bad, but that's how life goes. Sometimes life throws you curveballs, and you learn to deal with them every day. I've heard somebody say, I can't remember exactly who, that you don't need to wish that things were easier. Just, wish that you were better or work on being better. Not needing to have things easy, but just building resilience within yourself so that you can handle whatever comes up for you. So you can find the links to my Twitch in my notice. I'm also on YouTube. This is like the worst possible day to watch me on any of those channels because my camera's not working right. So I look like I'm streaming on a potato, but you could hear it, I guess. Quibbly says, the most stressful part of my life is keeping my friend group from turning into a nuclear bomb. Looks like Quibbly is one of those linchpins in the group that kind of keep everything together. Y says, streaming on a potato? Yeah, Idaho, russet. My camera quality is not great today. That's what I'm getting at. But we still gonna just be here for the folks who want to watch and who don't have access to Spoon. We still want to give them a chance to hear, listen to the conversations that we have here. All right. Y says, I am happy with my current friend group. So Quibbly, maybe you should talk to Y. Y is happy with their current friend group. So somehow they've managed to get that together. They've managed to get that together. And I guess you have to wonder if it takes that much wrangling, you might need to curate a little bit, You might be doing some things trying to put some things together that don't necessarily fit. So someone anonymously says, I'm happy with my girlfriend. Well, that's good. If you're going to have a girlfriend, you might as well be happy with her. If you're going to have a girlfriend, be happy, I guess. Quasha is here. Hey, Quasha, welcome in. I am happy with blank. Let's see. So just as a heads up, every response doesn't necessarily get read. Some things, are not necessarily on the vibe of what we're trying to do in here. So, just know that just because you put it in the box doesn't mean I'm going to share it for everyone else to read. So, keep that in mind. Try to read the room, read the vibe, and govern yourself accordingly. So Lazy Sloth is over on Twitch. Found me over there. Welcome in. Thank you for coming and taking a look at this grainy stream experience. But you happy with the chances I had to travel around the world? Traveling around the world. I hope that when you as you traveled, you found a way to lock in some of those memories, taking a lot of pictures, traveling and seeing the things, seeing all the things. So Amani Couture is back. It's good to see you again. It's been a minute. I hope things have been going well for you. If there are a lot of glitch, it might be the case that I need to update. I try to make it a point to keep an eye on the update so that y'all can have a good experience listening. So JD says, I am happy. I've grown and am growing. I think it's a privilege to learn and to continue learning. All right. So let's take a look. We're going to get ready to go on to the next prompt. If y'all are ready for that, if you're not ready for it, you better get ready, because here we go. So this is a two-part question, a two fill in the blank question. So let's have a look. I am drawn to blank, and I am repelled by blank. Think about the things that you are drawn to and the things that make you recoil, that push you away. So one more response to the work before we go. I'm happy with my work. Happy with my work from Misfire. So that's satisfying, since we spend so much time potentially, I guess not everybody, but I guess potentially we spend a lot of time with work. It's good that it can be something that you find meaningful and satisfying, that you can be happy with. So let's take a look. I'm opening up the response space. So somebody has a question, says, Restream, is Twitch chat not on it? Yeah, I see you. But I don't know that the things that you said up to this point are necessarily relevant to the conversations. So, I don't necessarily, the people who are listening can't see you. The people who are watching can if I throw it up there. But yeah, we here, we vibing. All right. So I'm drawn to blank. I am repelled by blank. So let me know your answers. If you are on Spoon, you can put it in the request box. If you're watching on another platform, you can drop it right in the chat and I can see what's going on. So I'm drawn to blank. I'm repelled by blank. So whoever that is, they addressed him by name, but I muted them. They don't have to get kicked. They could just be muted and listen with rage. They can stay in here, just can't speak. Quibbly says, I help all and befriend all unless they prove they don't deserve to be my friend. So you are drawn. What are you drawn to? What are you repelled by? I understand what you're saying. So if you could do it in like 1 or 2 words for each, so that I'm sure that I understand your response. I'm drawn to, let's see, all, and repelled by those. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not sure how to fit that into our response. So feel free to elaborate in the chat so that I can understand the way that you are intending for this prompt to work. All right, let's see, what else do we have here? So Noble says, I'm drawn to like-minded uniqueness and repelled by negative thinkers and head gamers of the wrong kind. Like-minded uniqueness. So you want them to be of, okay, so let's think how, like, what the distinction is there. If they're unique, when something is unique, it's kind of singular, and unlike other things when it's unique. So how do you find like-minded people who are singular? If that makes sense. So Retha is here. Go ahead and drop some green hearts in the chat. So yeah, think about that. So the word unique has that prefix UNI, just like unit, which is like one. So how do we balance that uniqueness? They're like you, and they think like you in some way. But I get the repel part. That's pretty self-explanatory. Other souls that have awakened and are aware of their uniqueness. So just people who are aware of their uniqueness like you are. Okay, now I understand. Corey says, I am drawn to positive energy and repelled by evil and negative energy. Well, that's a good place to be situated, Corey. I think a lot of times, for whatever reason, a lot of us tend to be drawn to the bad. We're drawn to the drama. You know, there's a train wreck. There's, everybody wants to go see it, even though it's horrific. There's something that is oddly seductive about things that we would describe as bad. So Brian's going to head on out. All right, Brian. So Sunshine says, I'm drawn to positive driven people and repelled by people who want to stop your positivity. So you're drawn to positive driven people. And then there are a lot of folks who want to try to stop your shine, and you're not about all of that. So Tim says, I am drawn to genuine souls and repelled by fake smiling in your face people. Smiling in your face. I'm like, yeah. Hey, girl. Just finished talking about you. Like, hey, girl. Yeah. And anytime if you're around people who be around, just be out gossiping, and you hear it, as soon as you leave, you're up next. If you're around people who out gossiping, talking, as soon as you leave, you're up. So we're going to clarify Quibley's response a little bit. It's like, as long as there aren't total jerks, I will be their friend. But if they are, I will not. So that's probably a good policy. But it's good to have a few jerks in your life. Sometimes it's nice to be around someone who's got a little edge. Keep you on your toes. All right. So Miss is drawn to curiosity, creativity, and coalition, and repelled by dogma, unacceptance, and bigotry. Okay. Curiosity, creativity, coalition. The 3 C's. And then the DUB. Tim says, drawn by honesty and repelled by excuses. Drawn by honesty and repelled by excuses. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let's go to the next prompt. Moving right along. The next prompt is, what have you recently finished? What have you recently finished? There's a certain sense of satisfaction that comes with completing things. There's a lot of overhead and bandwidth that gets generated or gets created when we finish something up, rather than having it hanging as a to-do. Cybershots is here. What's happening, Cybershots? It's good to see you this morning. Talk about something that you recently finished. Now, you can be cute and just say like a piece of cake or something, or you can think about significant goals or significant projects, things that really will matter for you in the long run. You can take it either way you like, but think about something that you have recently finished. And sometimes when you finish raggedy, and sometimes you finish strong. So we do have a response over on Facebook. Cousin Boris, let me share that while y'all are thinking about what you finished. My cousin Boris says, I'm drawn to make a difference in the community to uplift others. Why repel others when you can build bridges with unlike minds in darkness? Negative people need light too. Love conquers all. We have to take the time. So why are we repelling others when they need our light? Sometimes some of the things that we are trying to push away, they are our project. Some people represent work that you need to do on yourself. A lot of times, the things that show up in other people that we are so repelled by the reason that we are repelled by it is because somewhere inside of us, it's something that we need to work on, you know? And that's why Quibbly is always building bridges in the friend group, being the peacemaker, the connector. Yeah. If something is yucky to you, it might be because, it's in you somewhere. People need your light, and people also shine the light on you. They are a mirror in a way, right? So I appreciate that. So here we are. We are thinking about, y'all are filling out what you have finished recently. That is the prompt we're working on right now. What have you recently finished? All right. So Quibbly says, I recently finished 9th grade. Well, congratulations. 9th grade. So has your summer break already started, Quibbly? I hope so. If you've been up for days on end, I hope this is your summer vacation vibe and that you're not, you said you finished, so I guess so. But you know how sometimes those last few weeks of school is a foregone conclusion and you just there doing the days. You just biding your time. Enter a nickname has joined us in the chat. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the likes. Really appreciate that, folks. It's just a quick reminder, every 10 minutes or so, if you're still with us, you can drop a like if you are over on the VIP. And if you're in the other places, if you want to show a little love, you can just like over there. You can share so that people can catch the second half of the conversation here. So Noble Ancient says, I finished my 4 nights of dishwasher work. I am home, safe, and relaxing. So I finished the 4 nights. Now it's time to regenerate. There we go. And of course, I know part of your downtime is just working on your passion project, working on your business when you don't have to go into your regular job. I hope that you find that process regenerating too. Something to be actively engaged with. 3 days off, planning fun stuff. All right, big fun. So there is some of us, our life is set up in such a way that our work is very open-ended. Again, going back to that conversation that we started with about seasonality, we lose a sense of seasonality when our work is open-ended. When you're working with the season, you know that at some point it's time to plant, you got to tend to it, and then you're going to harvest it, and that's it. There's a natural breaking point. So when we have this open-ended work or open-ended projects or things that are going to occur over a long period of time, we have to kind of create that seasonality to make sure that we are taking the time to rest and regenerate and kind of restore your mind so that you can work more creatively and not be like beating your head against the wall, you know? Everybody talks about, how important it is to grind. And I think that's an unfortunate word to use to talk about working diligently, calling it grinding, because what happens when you grind something is it gets worn down. By definition, when you're grinding, you're wearing down. You're diminishing when you grind. So calling it a grind, I get it, but don't celebrate it as your ideal way to function. because it is inherently wearing you, sometimes in irreversible ways. Creating damage that you just have to learn how to manage and deal with, that you can't fully reverse, you know? So Misfire says, yeah, it feels like stuff is ongoing and also only finish when it's a satisfactory result. Otherwise, the work is left undone. Yeah. And I think that process of having a sense that the work is forever left undone until you reach the end goal. It's important to look at long-term things like, yeah, I have to keep going, but it's also probably worth looking at some of the intermediate steps, like completing a specific action in a certain way, like finishing a step in the process and executing it well. So even though the overarching goal remains, there's some things that extend, there's some work that we pick up that was unfinished by others, and our job is to continue it even though it's not something that we can fully complete, you know? There's some stuff that extends, there's work that extends beyond lifetimes. And to be engaged in something that, you know, that takes multiple generations to complete, it's hard to, sometimes you lose the sense of satisfaction of finishing when you know that the work is going to extend beyond you. Like, why is it worth doing if I'm not going to get to see the end result? But I would argue that the most important things are like that. The most important things are bigger than us and even bigger than our lifetime, but you have to be willing to see the value in engaging in that, because that's what you're standing on. Whatever it is that you're able to do is based on work that other people did that they couldn't finish, but they still were diligent in staying engaged with it. So finding that sense of accomplishment at each step of the way is an important part. Acknowledging the progress in a very concrete way is an important part of it. So Boris says, I completed a 6-mile bike ride with my lovely wife at Cunningham Lake. It was so refreshing, enjoying every moment of health and wellness. The lake was beautiful, surrounded by beautiful trees and a clear blue sky. Out early this morning. Are we talking about this morning or are we talking about yesterday morning? Oh, you already got that bike ride in the bank. How are we doing today, Gabriel? I'm glad to see that you are here. Noble says, grinding is okay when you just grinding experience points. Oh, I'm just going to grind EXP playing this game. The thing about that, the whole time that you're grinding that experience, those experience point in the role-playing game, your own life is taken away, like your real life. You know? All right. I get it. You want to level up, but hey, that's a lot of time. Thinking about people talk about like the number of hours that they have invested in the game. I'm like, wow. You know? Like, wow. And I think there's something that kind of develops once you've put a certain amount of time into a game. It becomes like a forever never-ending time suck, because you want to keep going because of everything that you've put into it. It's like, I've put 100 hours into this. I gotta keep going. Do you gotta keep going? I don't know. I mean, I guess so. Alexis has joined us. Thank you. It's good to see you this morning. We're talking about what we have recently finished. All right. Quigley says, one thing that would never feel finished is the life that you lead. Well, life is an open-ended adventure, right? It is indefinite for sure, but it's also impermanent for sure. You know, it's impermanent and indefinite. So you always want to be thinking about, how would I look back at this? One of the prompts, I think from last week, one of the days last week, we asked the question, what would need to happen for you to look back at today as a success? So we're not even talking about your whole life. We're like, if you just look back at today, what would need to happen for you to see it as a success? So Boris says, the important thing in life, you must sharpen your sword daily. You got to sharpen that sword. I know Noble will appreciate that metaphor. Don't give up on your dreams. Learn from it. If you have a vision, harness your dreams and seek resources to help you. Whatever you're working on, you got to keep working on it. Don't give up on it. If you need some help, if you need some assistance, if you need to build connection, if it's too heavy a lift to do alone, find some people who are there to support you. For sure. All right. Let's get ready to go on to the next one. So this one is looking at the opposite side of finishing something. This is kind of forward looking. I am eagerly anticipating blank. I'm eagerly anticipating blank. I think we had someone mentioned before being hopeful, as when they described how they are feeling today, they're feeling hopeful. And we talked about how important it is to have a sense of possibility. And one of the most satisfying feelings that we all have is anticipation. That feeling that something good is about to happen. That excitement about something positive coming your way. So I am eagerly anticipating blank. If you're going to fill in that blank, what is something that you are eagerly anticipating? Looking forward to, not in just a passive way, but looking forward to in a way that it's like, I can't wait. Like a kid, before their birthday, when they, those exciting moments. If you celebrated Christmas as a kid and got stuff, that Christmas Eve feeling, anticipation, right before something magical is about to happen. So Miss Fire says, I am eagerly anticipating the end of my work contract. So you say, it's great work, but it's time to move on. It's time to move on to the next task, to the next challenge. Divine Nesquik is here. Good morning, Nesquik. Thank you for joining us. Corey says, I am eagerly anticipating moving out. It's like, hey, I can't wait to get up out of here. Quibbly says, I am eagerly anticipating the end of the 12th grade. I can't wait. Noble Ancient, eagerly anticipating the exciting process of my latest game design, one I am building that I want. So I think a great thing about that response is anticipating the excitement of the process. That's a great place to be. Knowing that you don't know how exactly it's going to work out, but you know that however it works out, whatever the end result is, looking forward to engaging in the process. Like, that's the part that you can control, right? You can work on it and you can find joy in working on it. Even if there's going to be challenges or whatever the case may be, there's a joy in doing it, a joy in engaging in it. And that's a great place to be. So Boris adds some insight from Facebook. When you give your best, expect unexpected gifts and rewards. When you give your best, expect unexpected gifts and rewards. So if you want something good to look forward to, then you just be your best and watch what happens. You can already start anticipating something good happening when you are showing up fully. That's really the key that unlocks it. You can go ahead and start anticipating something good happening, because that's just how it works. It might not come from where you expect it to come from, but if you are giving your best, then you can already get excited about good things happening for you. You already can get in that energy to receive it. And I think that's sort of what happens when you are fully engaged. The reason that is exciting, or one of the reasons that it might be exciting, is that you're putting yourself in the energy to receive something good. You know, you move different. You move different when you know that something good is going to happen. So, you know, some of us have maybe what we call anticipation. It's a passive experience, right? But, you know, when you think about it, anticipation is sort of like a seed of action, because, you know, it's a source of energy. If you use that anticipation as a source of energy, then you are much more likely to create the thing that you're anticipating. So, yeah, it transforms like, yeah, I forgot who it was. Let me find the guy's name so I can attribute him for this quote. Myron Golden. He's a sales trainer, but he talked about that transformation, what that positive energy and working from that state of anticipation of expecting something good. It changes the I don't want to, like all the things that you don't want to do. It transforms that to I can't help but to, right? It changes that I don't want to do this to I can't help but to do this. And if you can't help but to keep going, then I mean, everything else will take care of itself. So we got Alexis sharing. I am eagerly anticipating Noble's Life Day in September. We are flying to Phoenix to meet a bunch of people, including a few cosplayers we follow. Gonna go to a gaming cafe, play games, drink mead. Noble's never had it. Fun. Noble's never had mead? I don't think I have either. What is that? Only mead I know is a Notebook. Yeah, I mean, I get that it's alcohol, but like what kind of alcohol? Like, what is it? Yeah. It's like, well, it's like 10%. A little something. See, that ain't enough percent. Fermented honey water. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and get ready to go to the next prompt. All right. So this question, we've seen it before. Let's take a look at it again. What is something that you lost that you no longer miss? What is something that you lost that you no longer miss? Sometimes we experience setbacks that seem like something that we can never get over. There's a lot of things that can be really disappointing, and we can mourn. You know, sometimes mourning is appropriate when we lose something and feel sad about it, or whatever the case may be. But then once you realize that time goes by, your experiences change, your perspective on things change, and you realize that, yeah, that was cool, but I don't even miss it anymore. I don't even miss it anymore. So what is something that you lost that you don't miss anymore? All right. And I think that the important thing about that is realizing that maybe there's some things that you need to let go, but you're afraid to. If you realize you can get over it, maybe let it go. Corey says, my trauma Alexis, thank you so much for the like. Appreciate that. The question we are sitting with right now was something that you lost that you no longer miss. I think it's remarkable the degree to which we can adapt to whatever circumstances we happen to find ourselves in. We can accommodate a wide range of states. We can survive with a lot in a lot of different environments and a lot of different situations with a lot less than we have, or with a lot different than we have. So think about something that you might have lost. Might have been something that you were clinging to real heavy. Quibbly says, my old blue healer named one weird Indian name. I don't even know what that is. You might need to elaborate on that one, Quibbly. I'm not even sure what you mean by that. Oh, a dog. So thank you for the like. Appreciate you. So Alexis said, my toxic ex-wife, while I appreciate her role in me and Noble meeting, the years of neglect and abuse from a narcissist was not worth it. So you knew and saw that it was time to move on. Noble says, I don't miss my naivete. I am learning every day and more techniques. I am no longer unknowing. I aim for new excitement and learning even more. So who is challenging you? Who's challenging you? SOK, did I miss something? Somebody's challenging SOK. So SO is too tired to come up with ideas. Your instructors are challenging you. You're too tired to come up with ideas. Yeah. But you know, how many weeks we got left? Trend forecasting is complex. It is. That is a complex, very specific skill set for a designer. Trying to see what's coming around the corner. All right. Something that you lost that you no longer miss. That is what we're thinking about right now. So this is session number 292. Coming up on 300. I don't know that we're going to do anything special for session number 300. But just as a quick reminder, if you're watching, listening, if you're listening on Spoon specifically, in addition to the morning journal, we also have a Friday evening stream called The Writer's Room. So it's an opportunity for you to come in and flex your creative writing muscles. We also do subscriber only streams on the weekend on Sunday. So if you are draped in purple, then you have access to the subscriber only experience on Sunday evening. So it's good to be a subscriber. There are a lot of good reasons to do that. All right. So Boris says, I don't miss any bad experiences. It's like, hey, I got through that. Hopefully, not only did you get through it, you got from it. I think a lot of times we are focused on getting through the day or getting through the challenge. And that's important. We want to survive it. We want to get through it. But we also want to get from it. We want to take something from it, a lesson, go through it with your eyes open and your heart open or whatever else you need to capture the wisdom that is tied up in the experience that you went through. There's always something in there because nothing can have one side. Like everything has two sides. Right. So this looks like a good opportunity. Good opportunity to do a quick recap and give you an opportunity to share a key takeaway from today's session. these are all the questions that we went through today. This is the whole lot of them. So if you, if you're inclined to take a screenshot, you can, but it'll also be the background. If you're on Spoon, it'll be the background for the episode. And also and if you follow me on Instagram, you can get all the prompts that we use. I post on Instagram. Usually there's a carousel post that goes out once a week. And, if I'm on top of it, you should get 25 prompts every week right there on Instagram, at least 25. Sometimes I'll skip a week and you'll get like 45 or 50 journal prompts. So even when you're not here live, if you just want to think through and jot down your responses privately, just use it as a starting point to do some of your own exploration in writing and examining your experiences. Instagram is a great place to snag all of these prompts. But for those who've been here for a while, I want to give you an opportunity to share what would be your key takeaways from the session thus far. So, key takeaways from the session thus far for you. So let me I'm going to put my Instagram tag over in the chat for the video folks to make sure that they can capture all the prompts and and all the stuff that they need. So let me type that over there. So it's just _morning_journal. _morning_journal. So that Instagram is just prompts and little snippets and excerpts from the stream, and occasionally some of the quotes and excerpts of some of the research that I do to prepare for the stream. So it's a cool place to stay connected. All right, so key takeaways for today. Noble Ancient says, my key takeaway for today's episode is that it's okay to be excited and learn for things to come. Another awesome one, G. Good job. Good, sir. Thank you so much, Noble. I know that you like to be here to answer all the prompts. That's like one of the things that's a big part of your daily practice, is to do that reflection and think through each one of these prompts every day. So I'm always glad when I see you here and giving you an opportunity to think through this stuff. So, key takeaway. Corey says, this morning was a positive one and I will continue the positivity. So yeah, take this into your day. If this was a good vibe for you, you can take that good vibe with you and infect other people with it. Infect other people with the good vibe that you feel while you're here. So I know for a lot of you, depending on where you are in the country, a lot of you are going to have some severe heat today. So make sure that you are drinking plenty of water and that you are being safe. If you have to be outside and exerting yourself physically, be careful out there. It's going to be hot. You don't want no heat injuries. If you ain't got to be out there, don't be out there. I mean, if you ain't got to be out there in the sun, don't be out there in the sun. But if you got to be out there, make sure that you are staying hydrated and taking care of yourself. All right. So with that, we are going to wrap up the video stream for today. We spent an hour with you over there on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. We'll be back tomorrow, probably around 6:30. If you are in the VIP, you can get the pregame. The warm-up starts at 6 a.m. and then we go live at 6:30. So glad to have you, and we'll see you again next time.